Listeners be advised. The Soliloquy podcast discusses matters related to the human experience and many that are sexual in nature. Due to this, some conversations may surround triggering topics such as sexual violence, self-harm, abuse, and much more. Please be advised, a list of crisis and psychological resources will be available in the show notes of this episode. With that said, let's get started with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please as we go through the following safety instructions.
In the event that there is a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen mask will drop from the overhead. Place the mask over your nose and mouth. Breathe normally as oxygen is flowing even if the mask is not exposed. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Soliloquy podcast, where we step out and speak on sexuality. This is your favorite host, Vernon T. Scott, also known as Slaytor Jackson, and for you freaking motherfuckers out there, Sebastian Zaddems. On today's episode, we're mixing up a couple topics. We're talking about preferences. So do you want ice cream? Do you want chocolate? Do you want strawberry? Do you want sherbet? Or what? And we're also talking about gender. Doing a little bit of fluidity, doing a little bit of this, doing a little bit of that, gender expression. We're doing some things with gender. I don't know yet. Actually, I do. But we'll get to that in a little bit. With me today, I have that beautiful nigga named Sin.
That's me. Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm back. I'm back. I'm black.
and beautiful.
And
Back,
beautiful.
black, and beautiful.
That's all
that matters.
Jinx.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me not talk.
Oh,
Bitch, I thought you were going to run the podcast.
we're gonna have that air.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're gonna do.
I was what you doing?
Yeah, it's me again. Hey. Good to be back.
I'm your new host.
Hello, welcome back to the Soliloquy. I can't even say it. So no, I can't.
Okay, nobody
Welcome
can.
back to the Soliloquy podcast. I said it. Words, English. We've already discovered in the last episode that I'm not good with words. So.
It's okay. we accept you for who you are.
By the end of it, it'll be a whole different name. I'm adding syllables, consonants.
It is Soliloquy. Okay, it's soliloquy and ho at the beginning.
You sure are.
Oh my God.
Shade.
I accept my wholeness. Okay, it's great.
We all should.
We should
Embrace it.
But who the fuck are you saying? Like, for
Hey,
real,
baby.
like, introduce yourself to the audience once more. Most definitely, if they haven't listened to the previous episode, and if you haven't, go back and listen to it.
Of course.
So, who are you saying?
So obviously, yes, to get a good sense of me, you'll have to listen back. So listen from the start, because they're all amazing, whether I'm in it or not. But my name is Sin. It's short for a lot of things: sincere, Sinoti, whatever you want to call me. Again, just don't call me late for dinner. But yeah, I do a little bit of everything. I sing, I act, I model, I write, I life. I life. But yeah, I'm just a nebulous being that way. You know, you can't really peg me down for anything before, right? When you think you know something, it's something totally different. So yeah, I'm happy to be here in good company.
Permission to be inappropriate.
Oh, let's do it.
So
That's my bad.
you said people can peg you? Is that?
How did I not catch that? I'm so good with innuendo. How did I not get to it?
I had to do it. I just had to do it. I really did.
Well, I mean, for a good time cost, then. Jeez Louise.
Now I have to put it out here.
Okay.
Oh, you know this already. I actually talked about sin on the podcast before this, and that episode came out in season 2. This is season 3. I'm not telling y'all when I had that conversation because that's your problem for not listening hard enough and not knowing that you need to go back and listen to these episodes. But I will say, he is not who I was talking about in The Kink of Sin. That is not the reason why that episode.
I saw that episode and I was like, wait.
Right.
I was like, wait.
Speaking of which, a lot of people love that episode.
It's a good one.
It's a great really good. Shout out to Jennifer Moore. I hope I have her on for season 3 too, because we have some more things we need to record. Anyways, this is not about that. This is about you.
Delve into it, you guys.
This is about you.
This is about you. It is.
No, we're not doing that. These motherfuckers know about
it's an us
her.
thing, yeah?
That was an us thing.
Okay, cool.
That was an us thing.
It's us thing.
Okay. I'm here for it. All right. So, speaking of which, so the first thing that we're going to talk about in this episode is why do we care about what others do? Not us individuals, just as human beings.
Who gives a fuck?
Do we, like, for real? Speak on it.
Who gives a fuck? If somebody wants to listen, as long as it's not harming anybody else, that's the oh my gosh.
What?
We have to start over.
Why?
I literally went blank just now.
It's okay. Look, it happens to me all the time. Just be like, I got you. I got you.
Where am I at?
I got you. So
how did I get here?
I would say for myself, I'm with you already.
Yeah.
I do not care what other
Who
people
gives a fuck?
do. I care. The only thing I care about is if the people is consenting to whatever the hell is being done. Like, are they safe? Are they in a secure place? Are they feel loved on? Are they being respected? Outside of that, I don't give a damn about what other people do with their life. You can be out here half-ass naked on the street, enjoying your life and being happy, and I don't care. Now, as soon as that turns into you hurting somebody, now I do care because you're causing harm to another person, and that's not okay. But as long as we're being happy and being free and being loving towards our neighbors, our friends, the people that we don't even know, and supporting them and whatever that support looks like, even if it means not even acknowledging or like being disrespectful on like social media stuff. If I don't agree with you, I'm not going to come to your personal page to attack you, because why do I care? Like, oh, that actually happened to me once. Actually, recently, that happened. You know, when I took my social media break.
Oh, that's why.
That wasn't the reason why, but somebody decided to attack me because of what I said about the reason why. Because, like, there was a lot of violent stuff that I was seeing on social media, and I was like, I just need to take a time away, focus on myself, and just get this violent shit out, because it was disturbing. And somebody decided to come onto my page and be like, oh, you sound soft. Bitch, who the fuck invited you? And then have the nerve to be like, oh, you didn't have to respond to me. You didn't have to come onto my page and say all this stuff. Like, why are you here?
What?
Like, clearly you're trying to call me soft or wanting to place my own boundary and let the people who I typically engage with on a regular basis know I'll be gone. But you felt all of that power within yourself to come on my page, just try to attack me. Why? What made you feel bold enough to do that? And then feel some type of way when I decide to, like, hey, I would, my saying, but the thing I say is not necessarily my saying, but when you fuck around those fuck arounds, you will find out, because I deliver.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Look, exactly. I don't know who I said this to, but you can call me UPS, DHL, FedEx, USPS. Bitch, I'm here on time.
And we will deliver.
We will deliver. Like, what's up? Like, you got a whole lot of mouth.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. That's what it is, though, is people that are happy with their lives aren't worried about anybody else. When you're looking at life through a decent perspective, even if you don't have everything that you need or want, if you're enjoying your life, you're not worrying about, you know, what Johnny whoever the fuck is doing in the corner, you know. Especially when it's nothing to do with you, A, and B, when it brings that person happiness. You should advocate for everybody to enjoy their lives, no matter what the case may be, you know. Again, as long as it's not, you know, harming anybody, and that you have consent with the people involved. But there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to, like, coexist, you know. There's too much wrong in the world already to add to it with unsolicited opinions. Why would somebody? I've personally not experienced that that thing that happens on social media where people think that they can have a commentary on your decisions, because at the end of the day, just because you have access doesn't mean that you should. So thankfully I've not had to experience it firsthand of people deciding to say what people say it behind my back instead of to me directly. Thankfully they know boundaries, but that's what it comes down to. If you have a gripe with somebody, say it in the group chat with your friends, but don't bring, to attention whatever the thing is that you have an issue with to me about me, unless you're involved. Why involve yourself? But that's what it is that misery loves company.
Yes.
A lot of people really want to. It's very hard for people to watch people be authentic and enjoy themselves, and that's what it comes down to, is just enjoying yourself. Find a hobby. Are you getting paid to go under someone's comment and make a fool of not them, yourself, because it says much more about yourself than it does about anybody else to bring bitterness or hate or vitriol to anybody's anything, whether it be a show, a page, even whatever the case may be. There's just no point.
It's absolutely no point at all.
Who gives a fuck, you guys?
Like, whenever I hear about, this is something that's going to, like, let's say there's a KKK rally that's going to happen here in Augusta.
No, I do give a
fuck. And I'm not showing up, to be real. Yeah. Like, I will probably be on social media and just like, y'all, why the fuck is there a KK rally going on?
But that's hurting other people.
It's going to be towards the people who put it on, who allow that to happen, meaning whatever sponsors and all this other stuff. Like, why do you think this is acceptable for you to have in one, predominantly Black community, two, at all? Like, let's talk about that. Why are you providing this space for these individuals? If they want to have a conversation in good faith with other people, cool, that's fine. But we already know that's not going to happen. But like that, at the end of the day, I'm not going there. I'm not going to protest these motherfuckers, because at the end of the day, they don't give a damn. Right. They know who they are. They wear their sheets. They're happy with that. And that's just who they are as their identity. So I'm not going to.
But do they know? Because those that have to hide themselves in order to share their opinion, for me, I don't know that you know yourself. Because if you stand on that, if racism is your bag and you just love it, it's the best thing since sliced bread, then you're gonna do that shit unabashedly. You don't care who sees it because you feel that strongly about it. But when you know that the things that you have to say or the stances that you decide to stand on have an effect on other people, you don't want the backlash of that. So yes, of course you put something over your head, over your face, or it's the same thing with there's apparently the Nazis are back.
Oh yeah.
Back and better than ever, apparently. Going to drag brunches and so many different places that they're not really welcomed. Actually, we met a neo-Nazi recently.
We did. That was a very
it was interesting, but it was this misguided force. It was so clear to me, at least, that this person just they had to find an identity.
Yeah, he
so
didn't know
the people exactly the people that look like them. They decide to kind of assimilate the beliefs of, and really I think that's what it comes down to, is people that are kind of pigeonholed or stuck into their own bullshit. People that buy into their own bullshit. It's not even their bullshit. It's what their great grandpa believed, and they want to keep that memory alive. But nothing can stay the same. Everything is always changing, and that's the only constant is change.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. You gotta check me on that. I love it. Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. They might not know themselves. And I chuckle with the granddad thing, because my first thought was, let granddad die.
Let the old listen.
Like,
listen.
You can love the man, but the man's dead. I'm sorry. Like, look, granddaddy dead. The Holiloquy podcast focuses on the variability of sexual expression. When it comes to sexual expression, we often depend on pornography to illustrate how one must perform sexually. For those who have not learned this by now, The stuff you see in porn is not real. Pornography provides a singular perspective of sexual expression that is not often the reality we see during our own sexual encounters. The Soliloquy podcast is a conversation that takes you outside of the compressed box of what many know about sex. Some of the topics we discuss includes kinks, condom usage, status disclosure, and past sexual experiences. The Soliloquy podcast steps out on sexual norms and recognizes that the norm is not the only normal. Subscribe today and join the conversation. I chuckle with the granddad thing because my first thought was let granddad die.
Listen.
Like,
listen.
You can love the man, but the man's dead. I'm sorry. Like, look, granddaddy dead. I don't know how else.
What did they bequeath to you besides your shitty beliefs? Did they give you anything else?
Yeah, I will say, like, Klansmen these days, they go without the hoods.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
if they're going to do a rally and walk and march and all that, they have to do it without.
But that's the world we live in now. It's kind of normalized.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but if you don't want to wear your hoods, you join the Proud Boys. But that's a different kind of conversation.
Brother, where were you on January 6th?
Bitch, I was at work laughing my ass off. Oh my God. Did I tell you? All right, so this is how it started because we're talking about it now. So I
heard you was at the Capitol. I don't know what you're talking about. I could have sworn I saw you.
Yes, I was there. So like,
with the Bill of Rights in your hand.
Stop. What's that Bill song? Damn, I forgot.
From Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes. I'm just a bill.
Okay. That was good.
It was good.
The tone.
Oh, thank you. So I was at work, right? And at this job, if I wasn't meeting students, I was just on YouTube watching the news to, help time go past. And I'm like, oh, they're really about to air this shit.
The white people are writing.
Yes. So I'm like, okay. Oh, they're right. They really about to. Oh, they're actually rioting. Oh my God, this is good. So my coworker, she ends up messaging me like, "Oh, Vernon, we're about to go for a walk. Or do you want to join us?" I was like, you know what? I could turn these white people off right there. Just go on this 15-minute walk with them because we have great conversations. Yeah. So on this walk, they were just like, "Yeah, this. I don't know what the energy is right now." And then, as one of my coworkers was talking, there was just like Army like helicopter that just flew past us. And we're just like, oh, okay, what's going on?
But
there?
You weren't at the Capitol. Okay.
I'm so done. Yeah. I'm so done. I was not. So my coworker was like, what is going on? I was like, oh, y'all haven't been watching the news? And she's like, wait, what's going on? Like, why should we watch the news? I was like, girl.
I wish somebody would insurrect me. Jeez.
Ooh.
JK.
That's what we call it now.
It's been a while. That's what the kids call it.
So, see, you're coming with these good episode titles. So, Insurrect Me Now.
Oh my God.
Insurrect Me Now. Here we are. Oh my God. Oh, can you insurrect me?
Oh my God. That's the role play. Oh my gosh.
So she was like, yeah, they're actually rioting at the Capitol right now. She was like, they were what? I was like, bitch, yes. And one of my coworkers at the time, he was a white dude. He's like, these white people. I was like, bitch, here we are. We're about to talk about it. And I loved it. I was filling them in on what I saw on the news, and it's like, yeah, this is going to be good. I need to go back. And as soon as I get back in the office, I'm turning this shit on.
Bring the popcorn.
Right. So it was a good watch.
It was a good watch.
I was just like, I hope they don't like really harm anybody, because that was a fear of mine, that they will actually find some of the people who they really hated. Like
America is so ghetto.
It's so fucking ghetto.
What?
Like, I was like, please don't find AOC. Don't find these people that right. I know that they'll end up murdering. Like, let them get out safe. But yeah, outside of that, I was just like, ooh, child, this is the tea. This damn Trump got these motherfuckers out here about to go to jail.
And still over. Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's it. What about you?
I'm over it. But as a proud biracial person.
Oh, that's his new teeth for me.
This is new teeth?
Yeah.
You didn't know?
I did not know.
Yes, I'm a Whigger. I'm a Whigger.
He put the H in there too. Oh my God.
Here's some more tea. So when I was a kid, it was very hard for me to say the N-word because I didn't feel the wholeness of my blackness. But Tiffany Pollard, the head bitch in charge,
Yes,
the HBIC once said,
yes.
if you're black, stand in your blackness in all shades.
Yes.
That doesn't sound like a quote from her, but it is, I promise.
She be dropping gems.
She be dropping gems. But I don't know, just from the outside looking in, seeing it from any perspective was wild. It's crazy that we have that level of accessibility that anybody, especially a certain race that shall not be named, but we did name them several times.
White.
The caucasity of it all.
All the caucasity.
All the caucasity has no rules, no. I don't know. It's that thing that you said, accountability. You know, how do we get to these places? Because we know if the shoe was on the other foot, what would exactly be the.
I would not have come on TV.
And that feeds into, or it's the fact that you can go online and see, your brother or sister or sibling get gunned down, and then also in the same breath see, I don't like the term Karen, but some people deserve the term Karen. You can see a Karen, doing something similar with no repercussion, no type of accountability. So I don't know. It's a place that we live.
It's the ghetto.
Let's go to, I don't know. Let's go to Canada. I don't know. They have like fires and stuff.
Yeah, they're burning right now. I was thinking
burn this shit to the ground.
Oh my God, yes.
Nice.
Yes. Oh my God. Just give me the opportunity.
Cozy.
I will just
what did Beyonce say?
When I tell you, for those who are long-term listeners, they already know Vernon's stance when it comes to white people. I do love me some white people because they're amazing people. But the whites are forever annoying. So when the whites start their little civil war and start warring against each other, trying to figure out what they're doing in terms of this Donald Trump and
that's the inevitability of it.
Yeah, once that starts happening, I'm going to love watching everything burn.
I think it's purposeful, though. I think we don't look enough at what's really happening. These things happen because we're meant to be divided. The socio-economic and socio-political place that we live or that we're at only works when we have a finger to point, whether it be a finger at COVID or a finger at, who's not doing this, or right now it's the drag queens and the gays and the rainbow. When did we stop caring about the rainbow? Just the rainbow.
Ever since God forgot his promise, I guess. I thought that was the reason why we have the rainbow, and everybody was like cool with that. And
it's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible.
Oh my gosh!
But we hate rainbows now because it's associated with queer people. What? Gay people can't be God's promise, bitch.
Listen,
we keep the rivers flowing.
If we can share a space with people, if and I know that people will beg to differ, but if God loves me enough to keep me here, I can only speak for myself. What's your problem? What's wrong with you? Why do you think that you know more than, I don't know, child?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's quite unfortunate where we've gone, but I do believe that the pendulum swings both ways, and it has to get really, really bad before it gets better. And I think we're at that point in history where things we have to kind of burn it to the ground. The systems that we've had for decades, millennia, they have to fail. We have to let this shit crumble because we can't go forward like this. And this new generation, they're not having it.
Oh no, and I love it.
I love it. So they will scrap over quite literally anything. And hey, fight the good fight.
I would say there are also mixed bags solely because the lack of understanding nuance But at the same time, I'm just like, y'all continue to do whatever y'all do because y'all are doing the right thing. Y'all are fighting for the right reasons. But after the fighting is done, we need to sit down and talk about nuance here. Okay.
Yeah, how are we gonna fix it too?
Like, there's going to be a little bit more we have to do.
You're right. I love a good dismemberment of a system as much as the next guy, but we have to fix it too.
We do have to fix it. Like,
with love.
There's steps to these things. So once, at least I will say, we have older people who can help guide this. Older generations that can help guide things the right way once things crumble.
People, yeah.
Because at that point, people realize you are not the person that need to be saying anything. So shut the fuck up before I put you in the corner. So you're good over there. Shut up.
Don't piss me off. Sad ass.
So yeah, but then I live for that moment where we can actually communicate. Like even with that person that was at the bar, we tried communicating. We tried hearing him out and everything. I would say over the night he started to realize some of the things that he believed were lies. Most definitely, he actually started to Google things.
But it does take that. Unfortunately, it's not the responsibility of any person of color or any queer person or non-heteronormative, whatever the case may be, whatever they call themselves these days. It takes people like us to give people a glimpse into, and that's what I love about this podcast is that you have the conversation that people are kind of afraid to have, which is liberating the minds of people that don't think of themselves in that way or don't even think about it. It's a glimpse into other perspectives that you have to have. A lot of the thing that people kind of rally against is fear. It's not the person. They're not looking at you as a person. They're looking at you as what's stopping me from living my best life, or what do I think? It's again pointing the finger of what is it that I think is the problem and how can I solve it? But I hate to tell you, if every queer person and every person of color, whether it's went back to where we came from or wherever that is, because I don't know about you, but I was born in America. But whether it's that or the eradication and silencing of us, we'll still have problems. Problems don't go away. That's what we're here for. The life that we lead is meant to be challenging to help us grow. But I do see an evolution in who we are as a collective because we're a lot more similar than we think we are. I'm a big believer that this thing that we call God is just our oneness, the thing that animates all of us, the thing that connects all of us together. And all we really have to do is recognize that you are me and I am you, whether the visual representation of that or what we think we know about somebody is true or not, whether we think that that's different or not, we still have the ability to recognize that we're all just human at the end of the day, and we're all just trying to get through, as much as we can, as best as we can. So, I could go on for
ages. No, but I truly agree with you. But to shift the topic a little bit, because somehow we're not, well, that was one of those beautiful tens that this show loves so much.
And we love it.
And I will say, the one thing I do like about this space that I've created with this podcast is that everybody that I've had on, we don't all disagree, or we don't all agree on the same thing. And it's the differences are always respected. Like I know there was someone that I had on who I don't necessarily agree with the business practice of not having a space for trans people, but that same person is willing to assist trans people in finding something similar, something comparable to help them. And in terms of the safe space that they want to create for their people that they serve.
Gay gasp. I'm gasping.
But I love that conversation because of when it comes to safe spaces, those things look differently for every person. And sometimes that safe space may be a cleanse meeting. because these are people that they connect with and they feel likeness to, so that they feel comfortable in that. And of course, I don't want to disrupt that because that's something that they feel as though they deserve, and I'm going to give that to them. And then also, when it comes to queer people, we deserve our safe spaces too, where we can feel as though our lives are not in danger. We feel as though that we are a community in this moment, and everyone deserves that feeling of community and oneness. So it's like, for me, I can respect that in those senses. But again, when it comes to like harming other people, like actually going out to harm people, we got a problem. Like, you can be in your space and hate as much as you want because you're some haters. And you do you. Haters are going to hate regardless. But as soon as it comes to a point where you're actually like implementing laws or changing policies in order to enact that like violence onto other people, or harm some community because of your own hate, now we got a problem. Like, hate people in the silence, solitude of the spaces that you want to be in,
if you want to
but
be
not
dumb,
through
do it
public
with your
policy.
friends.
Do it with your friends. Exactly.
But don't then try to, find a way to, I don't know.
It's we live in the ghetto. But on a different note, one of the things that we were talking about in terms of preferences and gender is like how people use labels as identifiers, something that we briefly went over in the last episode. And I know for myself, I hate how people tend to script themselves based off of the label that they have. Like, all gay people have to be this way, or all bi people have to be that way, or all straight people have to be that. And I feel so bad for heterosexual people. Oh my God. Child, I'm glad I'm not that. I am so glad I'm not that, because it seems so depressing.
You know what? Someone once told me that a heterosexual person actually once told me that they think that queer people, and this is not their words because you can only use the words that you have, but they think that queer people are smarter because we don't get caught up in certain things like gender, like sexuality, and honestly, I'm not saying that queer people are evolved species, but we doing something. There's a reason they're trying to stop us.
Statistically speaking, those who have higher degrees and everything like that tend to be women and queer folk. So, not to say that heterosexual men are not out here getting degrees, because they truly are. But after the degree, after the bachelor's degree, after the high school diploma, you see a difference between who's going further.
It's a evolution of the mind where a lot of people are so stuck in their own one way, like and that's why we do have to have these conversations that, again, like you said, we don't have to agree, but it takes those conversations to shed some more light on perspective. But I do believe that there are certain people that are able to look past what's between your legs, and not to say that someone who is monolithic in that way, that they would prefer one gender over the other, that anything's wrong with you because of that, because that's your preference at the end of the day. But for me, preference isn't so I have the choice between fries and broccoli, and you only have broccoli, so I'm gonna not take anything. Preference for me is, if you have fries and broccoli, then okay, I guess I'll get the broccoli if that's all you have that's left. But preferably, I'd prefer some French fries right now. For me specifically, I'd say that I don't get caught up in any one thing about any one person, because we're so much more than that. We're more multidimensional than just the one. Everything's a gray area. There's never going to be a black and white. In that sense, there's never going to be one way to be one thing. So we have to look outside of what we think we know about somebody based on gender, or their sexual preferences, or even their position, or whatever the case may be. and transcend that thinking. And I think that's a part of what will kind of save us as a species is looking outside of ourselves and what we know and trying new things.
Yes.
try some things. Try a little this, little that. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think a lot of people misconstrue preferences with their prejudices and with their deal breakers, and they don't understand that words have meaning to them.
Like you said, nuance.
Right. Like, it's fine for you to have a preference, but if that preference is something that is exclusionary, that's not a preference. That is just a prejudice, and that's fine. If you have your prejudices, that's fine. Cool. Just say, this is my prejudice. I don't like this.
Call it what it is.
Call it what it is. And accept, like, I'm not going to engage with you because I understand. That's fine. That's cool. Like, whenever I look on apps and it's like no fat, no femme, no old people,
I'm tired of it.
I'm so tired of it too. But I'm just like, I know I'm not going to hit you up, and that's great for me. So block, because I like to have my space free of the ignorance, or free of the hate, and free of all the whatever the fuck. If it says no Black people, cool, block, because I don't need to talk to you. And I also don't want to leave myself open to those occasional people who have these kind of things on their profiles and then slide in my DMs and just like, oh, what's up? And I'm just like, I'm not what you're looking for. What do you mean? I read your fucking profile.
What about no assholes? What about no dumb fucks?
Oh gosh. Oh,
let's put that on your profile.
If you put that on your profile, you will realize people get triggered. People get triggered. And they're just like, what you mean, dumb folks? Clearly you, because you came out of nowhere. You mad at me? Why?
Right. Why advertise such ugliness? It's gross.
Yeah. So like, I just like, even though my profiles, I just tell people what I'm looking for, what I'm not looking for. And it's nothing necessarily dealing with race, body size, body type, or anything like that, or even gender. It's just like, this is just, I don't want anybody who likes to waste time. If I feel like you're wasting my time, I'm just going to keep on moving past you. I don't like people who cannot communicate. If you cannot communicate, why are you hitting me up? And like all of these things. So it's like, that to me is my, actually in a way, prejudices. Even with like some other profiles, like no pic, no chat. I understand that in a way, but I also understand that we're in the space where you have to hide yourself or you get got. That's something too. Like, it's, we didn't get it.
Love it here. It's great.
But anyways, what is your take on gender expression?
I think that we should all play with every color of the crayon box.
Yes.
I think that there's such a liberation in doing something that isn't so confined. Like the fact that we subjugate a certain class of emotions to a certain gender, like men have to be a certain way or women have to be a certain way, or emotionality, can't be expressed for men. I think that when we liberate ourselves through not just like gender expression, but through allowing ourselves to be all things, it's for example, during the pandemic, I grew my hair out to the point where it was like reaching my shoulders, and we flat ironed it, and it was like a deep blue. But also I shaved it all off, and I was completely bald, like bald. I think it's rewarding to go through the entire spectrum and see where you land, because you'll never know until you actually try. You have to really utilize everything. You have to, find the tools that help you get through this world, because it'll never work if you're not being authentic. If you're not being who you're actually supposed to be, you're gonna be sad and depressed your entire life. And that's what it comes down to, is these people that have those type of prejudices. It's projection. They're so against it because the people in their lives or whatever conditioning that they went through in childhood or even still today has taught them that they can't be themselves. So they have to kind of limit other people and the people around them because for me, I said it in the first episode, but I'll say it again. You can call me anything. you can, there's no line. In certain cultures, there are gods, specifically like Native Americans, even like in South Asian cultures, and their gods would be people that have two genders. They exist in two genders. I think actually even in Christianity, there's, I'm not sure the context or the mythology of it, but it's said that Adam and Eve was one person. I don't want to get too deep into it because I'm sure there are a lot more theists that know a lot more about it, but we're more than just what's in between our legs. That should not limit you from anything. That should not stop you from doing what you want to do. If you like pink, you like pink. If you want to wear a dress, wear a dress. If you prefer, hairless legs or hair, whatever you want to do, and that's what it comes down to, is just allowing people to be themselves, because at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt you. You may not understand it, but you have to respect it. At the end of the day, there's nothing else I can really say about it besides you have to try everything. Truly, my biggest thing is try everything twice. Once to figure out that you like it, and the second time to make sure. There's too many things in the world to be experienced. We're not here to just be, bland, to be boring. I don't know. It's and not boring because you are, but boring because you're not willing to. I don't know. It's a challenge in and of itself that you have to face for yourself. And some people don't get to that point until they're on their deathbed, and then they wish. You don't want to ever get to the end of your life and realize that I don't know who I was, or I wasn't being authentic to myself, or maybe I should have tried that, there's no reason for it. I know that a lot of people are really shitty when people are being their authentic self, but it's not because of you. It's because they see that in you. They see that light in you. And again, misery loves company. People want to be understood, but they also want to be bitter towards those that understand, because none of us know what we're doing. At the end of the day, none of us really know what this thing of life is. We all agreed on a set group of rules and decided that this is how it was going to be, but nobody ever said that there's no right way to be. Again, as long as you're not hurting anybody. So yeah, paint your nails. And I see it in more current culture. Men are not afraid to wear makeup. I think the rapper Amine, Kid Cudi, there's a couple of Harry Styles. I know that's a bad reference, but people that aren't afraid to really, be out there. I mean, look at Kanye. Kanye doesn't care. He's running around in like sock shoes and tights and shoulder pads. If you describe that same outfit to me without knowing it was Kanye, I would say that's probably a drag queen. Allow people to experiment with themselves, and you don't have to identify with it. Nobody said that because you tried it doesn't mean that you are this one thing. Just because you tried to bottom doesn't mean that you're a bottom. Just because you put on a dress doesn't mean you want to be a woman. So allow yourself to just do different things. Life is too short,
Exactly. And I will say I look good in a dress.
Damn good.
I don't wear a dress frequently, but if I'm going to wear a dress, I'm gonna look fine. Beard and all, motherfucker. That's all you need to
I would love to wear a dress. I've never actually worn a dress.
We're supposed to be doing drag. we talked about this.
I'm down.
Yeah. We said we're gonna go.
I
to
know
an
somewhere
night.
inside of Sin there's a bad bitch, so
yes,
I'm down for it.
Yes, we're gonna bring that bad bitch out
one of these days.
It's not gonna be like within the next month because shit's going on, but soon we're gonna have to like bring up bad bitch Sin. Like, yes, we're here for it. But before we go into the last topic and end up in this episode, I did want to mention for those people who are out there and they're confused and they may be angry or just have hatred within them, and most definitely when it comes to gender, ask yourself: we're all spirits out here walking around in flesh bodies, flesh suits, or you can call us souls out here. All these things. Does a soul have a gender? Does a spirit have a gender? Ask yourself that, and whatever answer you get, just reflect on it. Because how? Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. Ask yourself that question and figure that out for yourself. And don't ask other people to answer that for you. Find answers on your own, reflect on things on your own, and figure that out on your own. And also use reputable sources. If it's something, learning happens when you're most uncomfortable. Whenever something goes against something that you believed all your life, challenge it. Challenge what you believe with the new information that you're reading and see what kind of mutual ground you get and move from there. And make sure it's a reputable source. And I'm not going to go into how you find that because that's too long. This is not class. This is not the academic classroom. We're not writing a motherfucking paper today.
Google it, bitch.
Google it. How to find a reputable source. Go to YouTube.
It is scientifically proven that humans are the only living creatures that can realize that we are not this thing. This thing that we present to the world is not who we are. We're not even our thoughts. We're the observer of those thoughts. This thing is a machine. Even our mind is a machine. So look outside of yourself to realize that, you're much more than just what you present to the world. And even if you don't have the resources to present exactly who you are, live in that. Be yourself. Be yourself.
Oh, and
suck a dick.
Oh,
get a job.
Suck a dick. Yes.
Who is this? T.S. Madison.
So the conspiracy of the show that I need everybody to start researching because it's true, it's facts. Sin made reference to it last episode, but I'm bringing it back. Sin is an AI, and I'm a cyborg, and I need y'all to figure that out.
Period.
I just came out to you all as a cyborg to other people, but you'll see how truthful that is if you look at my social profile. Okay, so on that note, we referenced this a little bit in the last episode. We're going to be brief. Very brief.
Okay.
That
brief with us?
Right. I'm scared.
Okay.
So sexual preferences evolve over time, and it has no boundaries in a sense. Essentially, if I remember our conversation correctly, it's kind of what you was referring to in our last episode or in this episode, that just because you're a bottom does not mean that you're always going to be a bottom. Just because you identify as top doesn't mean that you're always going to be the top, because the things that you enjoy in life change. The things that you enjoy during sex change. The way your body changes over time. So the way that you feel pleasure also changes. So what's your take on that?
You're allowed to change. Allow yourself to, like I said, and you're right. We have these mindsets that are allowed to evolve, but it can only evolve if you put yourself in those situations and you try new things. If you don't ever try it, if you don't ever put yourself into the shoes of it or into the perspective of it, then you'll never be able to fully understand it. And that's a lot of why we kind of point the finger at other people, because we don't know their experience to truly understand the nuances and the depth of it. For me, at least, I'd say that I would never want to stop growing. And growth isn't always linear. You're not always growing upwards. You can try things and think that it's something that resonates with you, and in actuality, you know, it might be something about it or a point that you were in your life, you know, your environment, your atmosphere, and how you feel on a soul level can evolve into something much bigger than yourself. So I would say that it's okay to put yourself in a different perspective. See yourself in a different light.
Yes. And I agree 100%. And we're going to end that conversation right there and switch over to a little bit of Never Have I Ever. Are you ready?
Never have I ever. Okay.
So, never have I ever stopped eating a meal in order to have sex.
I plead the fifth.
There's no fifth in this. There is no fifth.
I will say, yeah, I've absolutely like gone, and I know it's like really bad and you shouldn't. Yeah, I've definitely not eaten in order to have sexual relations. Yeah, it just, you know, it's sometimes it's easier to and not, you know, obviously I'm not talking like go days without eating because you're anticipating something, but the way my body is set up, I know that I can just process things really quickly, you know. My metabolism is one SOB. So yeah, quite often, you know, if I eat corn in the morning, you know, later I'm like, corn? I don't remember eating corn. So yeah, sometimes you have to decide to, you know, prioritize certain things. And when I was younger, yeah, I definitely said, yeah, you know, today is the day, so we're just gonna chill out. I'm gonna eat one lightly salted potato chip for breakfast, and maybe a cotton ball for a little snack. You know, I don't know. It's fluids. Have you?
I would say I've never stopped eating. Like, okay, if I've already have like a meal in front of me and I'm eating that meal, they're gonna have to wait. I've had moments where somebody hit me up and like, oh, I'm eating. Well, I want to hook up, bitch. I do not have sex on a full stomach. Right. I do, like you can wait an hour and I can just get myself ready and everything, and we can hook up after that. If I do not feel stuffed, if I still feel stuffed, you have to wait 3 hours.
It's not a good place to be. And I'd say the reason why I know better is because let's just say that I've learned from experience that eat like sexual relations on a full stomach is not a good idea. Not what you think. We're not out here painting people.
That's what I was thinking.
We're not out here painting people. I refuse. Even though they do say that you're supposed to in order to make somebody fall in love. You ever heard that?
No.
They say that you gotta. I don't know where it is. I think it's like Florida or something. It would be the Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, I think it's Florida, or maybe it's like.
You don't take advice from Florida.
I know that's a bad reference. I know that, but they say that it does. They say a little bit do make somebody fall in love. But and it's a big but. I know my limitations. And let's just say that when you go over someone's house for a full meal, just try not to everybody has a gag reflex eventually. Let's say that. You can put the pieces together however you want to.
Look, I speak on mine because I spoke on this on the podcast before. I threw up on somebody before, and that was on them.
Really?
And I told them I'm not gagless over here. Let's be doing that.
I've since had my tonsil removed, so it's fine. I'm kidding. No, I haven't.
Because I'm like, like, don't be trying to have a motherfucker. No, I will. If I just eaten two, I'm not trying to taste this food again in a different way, in a different format. No, it was great going down. It was great going down.
I love a good meal.
Look, I don't need to taste that with some hydrochloric acid, bitch. No, it's bad for the teeth.
That's my worst fear. I hate throwing up. It's the worst. Like I will pray to God over hours in order to not.
I don't ever want to throw. You want to know my weird human thing that disgusts me?
Okay.
Coughing.
Coughing?
I hate coughing. I don't like to get sick.
Oh, you don't like to cough yourself?
I don't like to cough at all because it just, it's disgusting.
Is it the involuntary nature or you just don't like to spread germs?
It might be.
Okay.
Like I love sneezing because sneezing just gives me a little small orgasm. It's just great. Like,
it's like a Q-tip too.
Yes, it's a great feeling. But coughing, it's painful. It's not supposed to be there. It's unhuman. Okay,
it's unhuman.
It's just disgusting.
So 2 things we need to know about you: running and coughing. Not your gig. Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Okay. So
I'm
maybe
coughing,
you are a cyborg.
Look,
I'm pretty sure.
If I am coughing, don't bother me. Like I don't feel sexy this morning.
Oh, you hated COVID, huh?
Oh my god. Oh my
Did you
god.
get COVID?
I did not.
Me neither. Look at that. Keeping it cute.
Right. Now, if I did have it, it was asymptomatic, and I'm okay with that. Oh Lord, you ready for a would you rather?
Let's do it.
So, would you rather have your lover be more dominant in bed, or have your lover be more submissive?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so there's a you answer first.
Okay, so for me, I'm like very like, so when there's questions like this, I only have one response.
Okay.
Both of them. Like,
you only have one response too. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Go on.
Like I'm already like with the BDSM test and everything, which I actually do agree with because it did kind of peg me a little bit.
It pegged you. Okay. Interesting.
Well, so it said that I'm like, yes, a switch, and I'm more on the dominant side too, and I do enjoy that play of being like dominating a partner as well as being submissive to a partner.
I've heard that. So what is a switch? Is that what it is? Do you want to do? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm comfortable in either one of those like environments. Like I don't mind being spanked. I don't mind spanking somebody. My favorite thing is to do a little bit of feather play. Feather play is my thing. I love some feather play.
So you're into tickling?
Yes.
Oh, yes. This is interesting.
As well as like one of the things that I look forward to doing with a partner is like identifying their erogenous zones by using like feather play to help guide that and figure out what places are soft, as well as putting a little bit of impact play in there, just to like play on those sensations and have that rise and fall.
The 2 extremes.
And yeah,
that's really cool, actually. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty badass.
Yes.
There's definitely a science to it. For me, I would say that so obviously he's a Gemini, so I will say both. But the caveat is that because I find myself being typically in my day-to-day life the more dominant person, I'm always the person making decisions. I'm always the person having to kind of I don't know, follow behind people and do the thing, whatever the thing might be. People that have those types of not just work environments, but social lives where they end up being the person that's always not leading, but end up in charge. They typically, and in my case, would prefer that when they get home, someone else be dominant. So not just in the bedroom, in general. I like to, in a partner, I like someone that when I get home or when I can't make decisions, they decide to make the decisions, or without being asked or without being prompted to, they say, okay, I got you. I got this. We're going here at this time. Be ready here. And I'm going to drive, whatever the case may be. But I found that in my dating life, and it's been a while for both. I think it's almost been 3 years since I've even had like a sex life or like a romantic life, in the sense that I'm like dating somebody in a committed sense that we, agreed upon, this is what we're going to be doing. But for me, I need in those situations someone that can kind of take the reins. But I also really do, there's something about having someone who can do both. It's like you said, the hard and the soft. It's the two extremes. You have to have that duality. I'm a little bit of everything. So it's about chemistry. It's about a vibe and a balance. I'm really good at like doing the other side of whatever someone else is doing. So if you're, deciding today that you want to be submissive, then yeah, of course I'm going to be dominant. And for me, the turn on isn't the fact that you're being one way. It's that, this is the balance that we're going to achieve. It's the chemistry for me. So if we can find that in between where we're both getting what we need, then yeah, for sure. That's kind of where I'm at with it, is both. So I guess I'm gonna switch. Okay, switch.
Yes, switch. We love it. But yes, and I feel the same way. Like my when it comes to like dating, and I imagine my future, because one, I like similar to you, always having to make the decisions and all this other stuff. Even in the home life, that part, it is what it is. I just want a point, like whenever I come home, I could be basic as fuck. Not to say I don't have to make decisions or anything like that, but I just want to just exist and not have to be
turn off.
Like, I don't have to be Mr. Extraordinaire. I don't have to be Dr. Scott. I don't have to be the person who's forever saving these hoes out here. I don't want to be that person. I just want to be a basic motherfucker. You watch Black Ladies sketch show.
I love it.
When they were having their bad bitch support group. Old girl was like, sometimes I just want to be a basic bitch. Like,
and you deserve to be that.
That's
what I want for all of my queer counterparts. I want you guys to have the space to be basic. You're allowed to be basic. You're allowed to not be Mr. or Mrs. Incredible all the time.
Just
honey,
like,
where's my super suit?
Yeah, super suit. Yes, I just watched that like last week. That's such a
truly good cinema.
Yes. On that note, thank you, Sam, for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. This has been such a joy.
Yes,
you create such magic with this. I look forward to more.
Yes, we do have more to do. Yes. So, do you have any last words that you would like to share with the audience?
My last words are love yourself. That's it. Love yourself, man.
That works.
In more ways than one. Fuck yourself too.
Oh yes. Fuck yourself.
You can tell it's getting late, so
right. So on that note, thank you all so much for listening to the Holiloquy podcast. I'm fucking up. Reverse. Thank you all so much for listening to the Holiloquy podcast, where we step out and speak on sexuality. And just in case no one else told you this today, you are beautiful. You are worthy of happiness and joy. You are enough and then some. You may not live up to the expectations of others, but that is okay. You are only required to walk in your own shoes. May each day you live lead you towards abundance. With that said, love you all and see you next episode. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Holiloquy podcast, where we step out and speak on sexuality. You can subscribe to the podcast through your favorite podcasting app and find us on the web at www.holiloquy.com. That's www.HEAUXLILOQUY.com. Share the podcast with your friends and join the conversation.